Because you was abandoned as a child, you keep showing up, overplaying your part in people's life. You keep trying to give people the love that you wish you got when you was a child. You overcompensate for gifts. You overextend yourself. Anytime somebody got a problem, you always add yourself to the problem and be like, how can I help you? How can I help you? Because nobody did that for you. Then you end up being misused and abused. So now you telling people, oh, I'm too nice. No, baby. You have to heal that trauma. You had abandonment issues. Yes, you have abandonment issues. And it is so unfortunate that you did not get the things you received as a child. But until you heal that, you will always show up at the wrong address, putting way more effort than what you desire. Because now you only try to date people that's a project because you think you can fix everybody. That's because you think they're worthy of the love that you wish you would have got when you was a child. But the difference is we're adults. You don't have to come in and make somebody worthy of the love. They should already have it and y'all should be able to share it.
At age brothers. But let's talk about why you keep dating the wrong people. And I'm talking to you too, sisters. Let's talk about why you keep dating the wrong people. And I'm specifically talking to people, man, that since your youth, since you became of age and whatnot, right? It seems like every situation you're in, it ends up the same way. It ends up pretty much the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like it may come, that person may come in a different, color or religion or creed or race or this or height or that, financial status. They might come in different shapes and sizes, but it always ends the exact same way as the previous relationship or pretty close to it. You know what I'm saying? And me and my sister were talking about this a few weeks ago, man. I went to go visit my sister, man, and we did some recording. Y'all might have saw that video with my sister out in East Texas. Dr. V. Shout out to Dr. V, right? And we did a video together, man, and I was kind of asking her questions, and I asked her the question that I asked everybody I'm online with, man. I said, tell me who inspired you the most, and she said my mother and, my grandmother, and she listed a few different people, man. But when she got to my father, she said, she kind of went deep. She was like, yeah, my father, because he taught me this and he showed me that and yada, yada, yada. And I began to, for the first time, understand how important it is for women to have their fathers in their life. Like, I was aware of it and I had heard it, but until I heard my sister say it and say the things that my father did for her in her life or showed her, I really didn't understand the impact of it, right? Because if I look at my sister, even when we were, even when I was a teenager, she, and she was dating even as a teenager and got older and went to college and was dating, all the men she dated had certain characteristics. Now, of course, every relationship didn't end in marriage, but all the men she dated had certain traits that were just like my pops. You know what I'm saying? It began to make sense now how important it is for a woman to have a father in his life, right? Have a father in her life, right? Same thing goes both ways. A lot of men, or you'll hear a lot of people say, hey, you know what? A man is going to be dating his mother, whether it be characteristics, whether it be her demeanor, whether it be her habits, whether it be whatever, he's going to be dating his mother. And there's a lot of truth to that, man. So you have to understand, you're going to be attracted to what you saw, or you're going to be overcompensating for what you didn't receive. I'm gonna say it again. As a man, as a woman, you're going to be attracted to what you saw, or you're going to be overcompensating for what you didn't receive. Which means, and I use this example because it's one of the easiest examples to make sense of. Like when you think about an abusive relationship, and I'm talking about like abusive, in your mind, you would say, hey, who in the world would be, and it goes both ways. It seemed like at one point in time it was just women being in that, but there are a lot of men getting dusted off when they get home, right? In your mind, you would say, who in their right mind would sign up to be in an abusive relationship, whether it's physical or whether it's verbal or mental? Who would sign up for that? But you have to understand, a lot of people are signing up for that because it's their truth. You know what I'm saying? In other words, if they get with the person that's not doing, putting the combos upside their head. It's something wrong with that person. Matter of fact, they don't even know how to love a person that's not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a real thing, and I'm using that as an example. But you can look at it as any kind of way. Like if you're a man or a woman and you keep attracting people that it's like, hey man, everybody I talk to steps out on me. Everybody I talk to does X, Y, Z. You have to ask yourself, what is it about me? Like, what is it? What truth inside of me? What trauma did I see? What is it about me that's only attracted to a person that's doing X, Y, Z? Because if we're honest with ourselves, man, when we meet a person, we can see what they're about. Like I've dated some people, man, and we probably dated for some months or some years, and however the relationship was terminated, I saw that within the first 30 days. I saw it. So when we see these things, either we're just ignoring it, like, hey, I see the red flags, I'm just going to ignore it, or we're just being honest with ourselves and saying, that's my truth. Like, I'm not going to mess with a woman unless she has a thotty spirit about herself. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I look at an older version of myself, I entertain women. I'm talking about an older version of soul. I entertain women that moved in that I'll say loose energy. Like that's all I talked to. That's all I dated. We went out, we hung out, and they had a certain demeanor about themselves, right? And I don't know where I got that from, because it's just a truth I adopted, because moms didn't move like that. Maybe at some point in time, maybe I got caught up in the music or something. Something put that in me, man, and caused a trauma in me, and caused a whole different skewed through a truth, right? So people are going to be attracted to what they saw, or they're going to get with people to overcompensate on what they didn't receive. You know what I'm saying? They're going to get with people that need fixing, and both men and women do this. Get with the woman where you say, hey, you know what? I think she's cute. I think she's cool. I think she's sweet. Yeah, she got a little damage, but let me put my Superman cape on. Like, I can save her. If she gets with a guy like me, or sisters are saying, hey, if I get with a guy, if he gets with me, I can fix him. Like, once they get my love and see what it's like to get love like this and they're going to be different. They're not going to be different. Like, we have to stop dating people for the potential we see inside of them, because us dating for potential is really us dating. It's really a trauma inside of us. You know what I'm saying? It's really a trauma inside of us saying, hey, you know what? You've attached to my trauma, and now I want to love on you because I want to give you. In other words, we're saying you were lacking something. That's why you're like that. But it's because you're lacking something, and I identify it. So let me give you that thing, because I didn't have it myself. So let me give you this thing to make you better, and we can be whole together. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You're completely going against a person's truth. You know what I'm saying? So to be honest, like when we meet these women, let me get a little water, man. Oh, I'll say it like this. When you meet a woman, or when we meet women, of course we want to know things like, just general information. What do you do? What you're about? Just general information. But one of the main questions you need to ask her is, tell me about your pops. Tell me about your father. What was that like? And if not your father, tell me about your stepfather. Give me full detail, and you can ask this how you want to ask it, but get the rundown on what that relationship is like. It's critical, man. This is the most critical question you can ask a woman. No pops, no step pops. Hey, you got any uncles? Any uncles? Like in other words, give me the rundown on any man that's been in your atmosphere since your childhood coming up. Tell me what that's like. Because if all she has to say is all men are dogs and da-da-da-da-da and all mama dated was dog and that whole kind of conversation, brother, best believe your relationship is about to be trash. Your relationship is about to be trash. Ask a guy about his mother. Sisters, I'm talking to y'all too on this video. Ask a guy, hey, when was the last time you saw your mom. When was the last time? Do you ever take your mom out to eat? Do you ever tell her you love her? Do you ever tell me about that relationship? If not your mom, tell me about your stepmom. In other words, what kind of relationship dynamic did you see growing up? You know what I'm saying? Like, what did you see? Your step-pops had a girl? Like, what was that relationship like? Did y'all communicate? If not a stepmom, what about your aunts? Tell me about your aunts. How was that like? Because if he's on this, all women are a certain way, all women are dogs, red pill to the extreme, black pill to the extreme, sisters, best believe that relationship is not going to do what you want it to do. Not saying y'all can't vibe and chill out, but you can't be looking at that person to be really serious with, man or women. And to be honest, man, I'll say it like this. I'll say this. To ask a person this question and to identify with some trauma that's in them, it doesn't necessarily mean, hey, this person is traumatized, let me leave them alone. Because to be honest, the far majority of people, if not 100% of people, have some kind of trauma they're dealing with, as on some level. So it's not to say, hey, this person has trauma, let me leave them alone. If at minimum, it's just to let you know that, hey, now I know how to deal with this person. Oh, you saw this growing up? Okay. I gotta make a mental note of that so I know how you respond to certain things. Not saying I can't love you. It might not work out. But if I'm going to give it a try, I need to at least know where you're coming from. And when I say everybody has trauma, like the trauma might not have came from your household. Like your household could have been the Brady Bunch. You could have grew up like the Huxtables, man. Mom and pops could have been healthy as I don't know what. But maybe when you got in college, you adopted a new truth. You started listening to certain music and started twerking and doing this, and now that's your truth. Now that's what you're attracted to. You know what I'm saying? So ask those questions, but it doesn't necessarily mean that person has to be voted off the island. Doesn't have to be voted off the island, man. And I'm gonna tell you this: you can tell when a person has a different truth. I'll say it like this. I'll say this, man. And looking back, I can see this with ease, right? Looking back, I can see a lot of women that I've dated where their truth or the truth that they presented to me wasn't the truth that they were really living from. If I'm saying that right. Or let me say it like this. The truth that they desired wasn't the truth that they were living from. Meaning, and I'll just say I'll give you some examples. Right? I've dated women, man, that, whether we're going on a first date or whether we're going on a 15th date, I've dated women, man, where, I can go pick them up, man, and I'll go and open the car door and they're like, what is this? Like clutching pearls, like, who does this? I'm serious. Like, people really do this? I dated one girl, man. I dated one sister, and I opened the car door and her whole family tripped out. Her whole family geeked out. You know what I'm saying? I opened the door, man, and her brother was like, dang, like, where'd you find him? And the family was like, you know what I'm saying? Like people do that? And I should have known right then, like, oh, snap, I'm dealing with a whole different monster. I'm opening the door. I've dated women, man, where they come in the room and they come in the kitchen. Hell, I might have just met this woman. We might have gone out on a date or two and she said, hey, you know what? Come on, I'm going to cook for you or something like that. And I'm over her house and I'm over there chilling. First time over there. And I see the trash full and I'm like, oh, let me get this trash. It's not even a thought. It's not even a thought of, hey, let me ask her, should I do X, Y? Let me. It's like, hey, that's just how a lot of us men are built. Like, we just do certain things because we come from a healthy space. Cutting grass. I've dated women, man, where it's like grass has been cut. I dated one woman, man, where not only did I cut her grass, I kept her mom's grass cut. Man. And it was just like, hey, you know what? Just the way I move, because I saw my pops moving a certain way. I saw my pops do a certain thing, and even when my pops died at a young age, even the men that my mom dated and eventually married, they moved the same way. So I didn't know how not to be that. But I've done those type things, man. And a woman again is shocked. A woman is like, oh snap, like what? But I'm gonna tell you this. Man. And this is when it gets kind of ugly or gets kind of dark. Once you start moving like that, or once a woman presents herself to get in a situation, but now she figures out, oh, you're the truth. Like you're really about this life. Like you're not just online like everybody else and pretending to be this type of guy to be in a relationship. Like you're really him, right? Or you're really her. It's going to cause problems because that woman is going to see your truth. She's going to see the place you're living from. She's not going to be able to stay with you, bro. It's going to be going so far against her trauma. It's going to be going so far. It's going to be going so hard against what she calls real. She's not going to be able to stay in that situation. Hence, when you see the woman online, husband was perfect. Husband took care of the kids. Husband massaged my feet every day. Husband cooked me dinner. Trash day gone. Vacations. But I had to leave that situation. It's because something in her didn't agree with that. Something inside her, man, was saying, hey, this is not real. This is not normal. I'm not even attracted to this. It's not my truth. I'm telling you, man, it's far more common than you think. Like, why do you think the divorce rates are so high? Yeah, you can put a lot of that on the internet, and the World Wide Web has damaged relationships and marriage, and it has. But a lot of that is because people are pretenders, man. They're getting in situations to fill a void, whether it's a sexual void, whether it's a security void, right? And they're saying, hey, you know what? This is really not who I am. This is not what I saw growing up. I can't stay here. This disagrees with my trauma. I can say this, man. Like I can probably count 2 women in my life. 2 women in my life that I look back, man, and I say, how in the cornbread hell did I drop that ball? This has been years ago, right? This has been when I was living in a dark space, you know. And when I say dark, I ain't talking about just evil. I'm talking about I was living in a toxic space where I was attracted to, for whatever reason. Who knows where it came from? Like I said, I'm thinking it probably came from just to be listening to the culture and the music, and this is how men and women conduct themselves. So I began to get, be drawn to a different type of woman. I can count 2 women in my life, man, that once I encountered them and the way they loved me, I was like, God dang it, like this is crazy. Like this is crazy. And it went on for maybe a few weeks, man. And I was being spoiled and I was being treated a certain way. And I was being like, everything was a certain way. But for some reason, man, and to be honest, man, and I'm kind of sounding like these women now. For some reason, I had to find myself out of that situation, man. There was one sister I dated, man. Man, I ain't gonna even go down through that, man. This woman loved me so hard, man. She just loved me, man. I'd never seen a love like that. And just after so much time, I began to look other places. Next thing you know, man, I'm hopping in the DMs. Real talk, real story. Had a perfect 10 on all levels, and next thing I know, I'm hopping in the DMs of an ex that was suspiciously maybe even cheating on me when we were together. I don't know, but some things happened when we broke up. I'm going back towards that. It was because my truth was something different, man. You know what I'm saying? I've dated, and I'm not saying that anybody outside of them weren't good women, because I've dated a lot of good women that I'm not with today. Good women, beautiful women, gonna make good wives. But it's 2 that stands out that treated me just so different. Treated me so different and so good back when I was living in a toxic space that I was like, man, I love this person, but I couldn't say nothing they were doing wrong. I couldn't say nothing about them physically that I was unattracted to. But for some reason, boop, I'm over here. I'm looking in the woods. I'm looking in the trash bin for somebody that I got rid of some years ago. That's how I was moving, man. And a lot of women, just a lot of people are moving like that, man. So just going back to the beginning of the topic, You got to ask yourself why you keep attracting certain breeds of people. Why do you keep attracting certain caliber of people? Why do you keep signing up to go through the same gauntlet, over and over and over, man? Again, you're going to be attracted to what you saw or overcompensating to fix what you didn't receive.